Hey guys, it's QuickyBaby and welcome to a gameplay of the Jagdpanzer E-100. This is quite an interesting game, stay tuned. There is some definite drama that's going to be happening in it later on. But I can tell you at the start of the game, it's fairly unremarkable. So we're playing on Fisherman's Bay. I'm in an E-100 Jagdpanzer, and generally, considering that they have one artillery, I feel that going into the town is going to be the best place. Now the E-100 Jagdpanzer has some fantastic opportunities for the town on this map, but if the enemy do not have any artillery, then it is still viable to go down to sort of the H1 area, and also to think about camping at the J2 area. I like to go into the town because I feel you can play a lot more aggressively from it, as that's where I felt that I was going to go, and I thought considering the amount of heavy tanks that the enemy team have, as well as a tank destroyer such as the AMX 50 Foch 155, that you might think would be going into the town, I thought I was going to get some action. Just going to speed up the replay a little bit for you, and you clearly see that, wow, that's some very aggressive play by the enemy going down the western part of the map. So what I do is just situate myself out here at the front. Looking back on this, this is a borderline weak play. Fair enough, I'm using these two bushes, which will mean that I don't get spotted until I fire. However, I'm not really covering any of my lower plate. And if I do, for example, get attacked by the Foch 155, I will be in a hell of a lot of trouble very quickly. So, right now, I kind of get agitated about the fact that there's an IS-8 just pointing his gun at the back of my tank. So I try and give him a hint that I really don't want him there. I don't want him there because if he gets spot from a side angle, for example, the Foch might snipe in at him. I'm not moving, but he seems to be moving around. I really don't want to get spotted right now, so I decide to try and go behind him. He seems to block me some more, and I don't know why he's trying to go behind me right now. Maybe this is the first time he's seen an E-100 Jagdpanzer. Now he's pointing his gun at me, and I thought he was going to try and TK me, so I angle my tank to try and tank from behind against my allies. And you know you're either paranoid or something's up with World of Tanks when you start trying to angle the back of your tank from your allies. So while I was tunnel visioning there, literally in those 20 to 30 seconds while I was tunnel visioning, my team just completely went through the town, and probably for the first time ever, not one tank is spotted on the whole of the eastern part of the map. So what I decided to do is take my Jagdpanzer on a magical mystical tour up through the center. I'm too slow really to flank around with those guys, and it might end up that I just can't get effective fire into the middle if I was to go up to the northeast. So I decided to take the center. From the center, I'll still be able to shoot across at the likely camping points A1, B1, / the B2, A2 area. My team will be coming across. They'll find the slight dips. They'll be able to get some cover behind them. I was thinking at this point that when the tank destroyers started to open fire at them, that I'll be able to give them some fire support. So as you can see, the Jagdpanzer E-100 isn't the fastest tank, but I am going up slope here, and I'm still managing to keep around about 10 to 15 kilometers an hour, unless you turn going up slope, and then you really do nuke your speed down to the sub 10 kilometer an hour region. So look at that aggressive play on the minimap by the enemy team. Great stuff. We're aiming at a T-34-2, and we one-hit him. And yeah. Welcome to Jägeru, welcome to E-100 Jagdpanzer. We just one-hit that tier 8 tank. We rolled for 1,192, which is a very healthy roll, and we set him on fire for the other 8 damage. So sucks to be him. Now we're just aiming across at this map. We can see that our artillery is in quite a lot of trouble. We do have an SDA-1 though, who's getting some good view range here. I decide to aim at this E-75 across the map. There's so many targets, I'm being a bit indecisive. The Centurion dies. Good job by the artillery to shotgun the Centurion before he went down. That's a hero's death. I do like it when artillery go down like that. So we see a Foch 155 bombing it across. I would like to shoot him, but I seem to have an opportunity here on the E-75 instead. So I'm trying to scope a shot. I fire a very thin shot there, and I get spotted for it. I'm not sure if maybe that was the right shot to take. The reload in the E-100 Jagdpanzer is just so long that you can't afford to take clutch shots like that. So boom, boom, boom. We can see we got absolutely nailed in the side there. And just to show you, that's a heat round, that's a ricochet, and that one's a penetration. From the look of it, I think maybe I got penned by a heat round from possibly... I'm not sure if the IS-8 has heat rounds or not. It could be the Foch 155 that slammed me in the side with the heat round. But we lost a lot of health. 1,137 health shaved off quickly there because of the fact that I went out into the open and I took my chances by firing that low probability shot at the E-75, so that was probably a misplay there. However, now the E-100 Jagdpanzer is going to start to shine. Thwack. Got revenge on him that time. Somebody hit him just before I did. So it was actually only 700 damage that I did to him. There was still a very good chance, even though he was on 55% chance, the E-100 Jagdpanzer would take him out successfully. So this IS-8 is playing very, very, very aggressively over here. He's just run into sort of the center of 4 tanks. So I'm going to seize this opportunity to put some pressure on him. Now this is very interesting. So I go up to try and spot the IS-8. I see him aiming at me. I don't want to get a shot in the lower plate anymore. And he continues to aim at me, even though there's a T-57 Heavy unloading on him from the side. So now he realizes, oh, wait, T-57 Heavy pad. And so he pulls back. And we get to come up for a shot. So yeah, it's quite frustrating sometimes when you're playing tanks such as the E-100 Jagdpanzer or the FV-215B-183. Your alpha damage is so high that often tanks will refuse to aim at anyone else. They'll just aim at you because literally your alpha damage scares them so badly. So we saw a Waffenträger in the bush there. I decided to fire a blind shot at it. I'm not sure if it hit him or not. So while the enemy team are playing very strongly here, they're ahead by 2 tanks. Including the fact that we have 2 tier 8s and they've got 2 tier 9s. So we spotted the IS-3 and we pull off a pretty clutch blind shot there. That was absolutely ridiculous. I'm just going to rewind that just so you can see that again because I didn't even remember that shot. That was redonkulous. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. That was a 4-second blind shot on the move. That was just some serious luck. I mean, there was an element of I saw which direction he was going and I tried to predict where he would be, but really that's just the RNG gods smiling upon you. So this game is really starting to heat up. There's an M103 spotted directly ahead of us. We're aiming for his turret. Yes, we bag him. And that's where the extra high penetration of the E-100 comes into play. The fact that really you're able to blast through targets that, you know, they're pretty good. The M103's turret, sorry, is not amazing, but it's not bad at all. So we've got a heat round loaded here. A bit of an unnecessary heat round there for the Waffenträger auf Panzer IV. But I really thought that I would be shooting at the Foch 155 frontally. So that's why I've got the heat rounds loaded now. The extra penetration just makes it that much bit easier to go through the front of Foch 155s. So, the Foch 155 has been spotted, and our T-57 Heavy, who looks like he's a very competent player, makes just a massive mistake. Gets caught out in the open against the Foch 155, and he's just being absolutely executed. Foch 155 puts 3 shots into him, taking him down from almost full health. Really, you can't afford to let that happen. When there's a Foch 155 on the enemy team, it was probably the throw of the game. This game was looking really, really secure until that gentleman did that. I mean, we had an IS-8 up top who was about to put pressure on the artillery. All that we had to do is have the T-57 Heavy sitting by the buildings at E4, wait until the IS-8 starts to put pressure on the cap, and then if the enemy start to pressure the cap, that's when we need to do that kind of rush across to try and to attack them. If they pressure with 2 people, then he could have made his moves then, and I could have given him fire support. And the cap circle is still fairly open on this map. But maybe he wasn't expecting the Foch to come back. Maybe he thought the Foch would go cap. So, right now, I know that the AMX 50B is on very low health. So what you see me doing is loading an HE round. All I really need to do is sneeze on the 50B right now to kill him. So I've got some time. I was predicting that the Foch 155 was still on his way back. I was thinking that the Foch 155 is kind of got his head up and he's wanting to make the kills. So right now we spot the 50B. So we turn our tank. And this would be a very chancy shot. Now you can't actually see the outline. Now you can see the outline. So what I was trying to do here is basically loop one over the hill. He's not right next to the hill. If we look at the mini-map, I think the hill is more or less like here, but he's behind, or maybe the hill is more here, just before the cap circle. It's definitely before the cap circle. And so your HE shells actually do dip. So the way that I'm aiming here is I've got the reticule on the top of his turret, and I'm trying to just loop it slightly over the hill, hopefully splashing down on him. Fortunately, we can see the shell goes to the left. We're unable to hit the Foch 155. Now, from the rate that the cap circle is going up, I can confirm that the Foch 155 is not capping. It's just the 50B that's capping. So I'm on my way to see if I've even got a chance to not. So, you know, I've got a chance to just get back into this game. So there, our thoughts are confirmed, and the Foch 155 is on his way to the north. So what you saw me doing there was driving along this way to try and remain hidden behind the trees. Now I need to spot him, so I come and get my gap through the trees. There's the 50B. And there's our shot, doing a whopping 5 damage onto the 50B. And thankfully, we just put this game wide open again. It's completely open. It's now me versus Foch 155. And now I don't know how much health the Foch 155 is. You see me loading my second heat round, I think, of the game. Because again, it's just so much easier to penetrate a Foch 155 frontally with that heat. And considering he's got an auto loader, I think it kind of evens the odds a little bit. So, right now to explain what I'm thinking. Alright, I was thinking that the Foch 155 would go to the middle, or alternatively, if he doesn't go through the middle, he'll either go down the east or the west. Alright? I got spotted. Just to pause here to say what I was thinking and why I was going this way. Many of you would think, oh, why don't you just stay behind the rocks here? Alright, now staying behind the rocks here, in my opinion, says I'm going to camp in my base and that's all I'm going to do. Also, what it means is that if he goes down the east, he flanks you. If he goes down the west, he flanks you. If he spots you from the center, you're in a bit of trouble. The only thing that you could argue, before the view range just gets totally messed up, is that you could sit in the bushes and hope that you spot him before he spots you. But what I decided to do is I'd far rather be in this position over here where I can fire directly into the cap circle. There's no way he's going to be able to cap with me being over here. And I might actually be able to get the jump on him. Wait, what I was planning is to go and sit here, maybe wait for him to try and push down the west. And then I was hoping that he would either go stupidly through the middle or go around the east, and then go into the cap circle, and then I could basically pop out and side scrape around that corner and put some pressure on him there. But I got spotted. So as soon as I got spotted, I thought, okay, where's he likely to be? And my gut instinct would be that he would be up here. So what you see me do now is turn my tank, angle my armor, and I want to try and get into a dip. I want to try and get to here so I can hide my lower plate. Because the Foch 155, for all intents and purposes, I must consider that he's firing heat. If he's firing heat, then really my lower plate is butter. My superstructure is pretty bad, unless I can angle it. So I'm deciding, right, I'll try and get to this dip over here or try and make my way back to the rocks, because I thought he might be to the west, but actually he's in the center. We bounce his first shot, and I stay angled. Now, why am I staying angled here? Alright, I've got 1,077 health left. I know that the alpha damage of the Foch is 850, so he's got 3 shots in his autoloader. So what my plan was to bounce his second shot by angling my armor here, and it's very hard still for the Foch to pen. He has to hit your lower plate flush. I was going backwards and forwards to make it more tricky for him. He doesn't really have that much of a chance to blast through your... He doesn't really have that much of a chance to go through your side armor unless he's firing heat. But even if he is firing heat, the normalization differences make it tricky for him as well. So my plan is go backwards and forwards, bounce his second shot. Now I know I've bounced his second shot. I aim at him. Why? Because it's very, very, very unlikely, or is it impossible? I don't think it's impossible. I think maybe the Foch 155 can roll for that with one hit at the moment. Obviously, next patch it's going to change again. But I'm thinking, all right, he's got one shot left because I've just bounced two. And that means that I can afford to take a shot, and 6 times out of 10, I one-hit him because my average roll is 1,050 and his health is 1,004. So I aim at him, I zoom in, I wait till it's fully aimed, and unfortunately the shot dips. One thing I did notice there is I think I flinched a little bit as I fired the shot. I'm not sure what that's called, if it's just called a flinch. I'm sure there's like some kind of technical term for it. When you kind of make that tiny last-minute adjustment when you're kind of like either firing a gun or whether you're sniping. And I know I know it's probably detrimental. I've noticed that I do that occasionally. You kind of make that last-minute adjustment, and really you shouldn't. You should just be calm and kind of like smooth with the shot. Still, the reticule was more or less over the tank, and the way that the heat rounds fly is they fly slightly up and then down. They're not like an AP shell which goes directly to the target, so to say. And so I was hoping, again, with where I was aiming, that I would just be able to blast one onto his top surface. So I'm wondering, where has the Foch gone? He's not here. Alright, so I think the Foch has gone west. I was thinking at this point when I was going here that he might be running away this way, or he might alternatively be running around that way. But I decided the most logical thing that he did is basically turn left and hard line it over here to try and flank me from over here. So I'm trying to counter him because he thinks that I'm still around here and he wants to go around here to flank me. So what I did is I took the cut through, we missed each other, and now I'm on the hunt for him. So I've been spotted. There's one bounce. I just decide to aim at him. The second pens me. I fire and... Oh god! Oh god! It only rolled for 970 and we've left him on 34 health. Interestingly, he still had one more shot left, surely? He must have still had one more shot left. But he didn't stay to fight. He ran away. So I'm still trying to hunt him. Let's see if we can bag him. No idea what he's doing. He only fired 2. He should have still had one more shot left. And that's it. That's it. I rolled for whatever, 970 at the end. The average roll of this gun is 1,050. And we left him, oh, it was just absolutely painful. And it was bad enough that I missed the first heat shell. Although I will take some responsibility because I did slightly dip my shot at the end. Although it was still correctly over the Foch as a target. But to have that second opportunity for the kill and it penetrates, but it rolls below your average, it was just really painful. Anyway, let's take a quick look at the post-game stats. So here's that brutal draw at the end of the Jaegeru game. We managed to pick up a lot of credits. I'm not sure if this was for an event, but it doesn't seem like it was, and 113,000 credits is a very nice amount to make, with 75,000 credits profit even after we resupplied our ammunition and our repair. 1,471 experience for a draw, pulling off 5,500 damage, and getting that Defender medal as well. Now the potential damage we received in the E-100 Jagdpanzer was nearly 7,000. You can see that we took 11 hits, of which 3 penetrated. And I'm fairly sure that 2 of those were from Foch 155, and 1 of them was from a tank that I'm not sure about. I must say that the enemy Foch 155 driver played really well. I'm not sure what he was thinking when he pulled back there, when in theory he should have really still had 1 more shot left. Still, this was a pretty exciting game for me, having those kind of tense 1v1 endings. I feel like I made a few mistakes, but hopefully I highlighted them for you, and maybe you can learn from my errors. Really shows you what the E-100 Jagdpanzer is capable of. We were able to get 7 kills from 8 direct hits, and that low roll at the end denied me the win and the Radley Walters medal. QQQ. Still, it wasn't like a disgusting low roll. I know that this tank can roll for like Mega Troll and like roll for about 800, but still, considering the situation, it was pretty brutal. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this replay. If you did, please consider rating it down below. I'd really appreciate it. And let me know what you think about the result and how it happened at the end, and especially what do you think about the E-100 Jagdpanzer. If you're maybe a Jagdpanzer E-100 driver, are you really excited about 8.11? The fact that basically all the other tank destroyers apart from the 183 are being nerfed? Does it make you feel a lot better that, for example, the Object 268 is going to have less than 400 millimeters of penetration with heat, which might mean that your armor counts for something? Let me know what you think. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. You've been epic, and hopefully I'll see you soon.